Okay, I've got a bit of a controversial opinion here. And fair warning, this might actually upset a few people who literally live on TikTok. But honestly, being famous looks absolutely exhausting. Think about it. We're constantly sold this dream, right? We're told that the absolute peak of digital success is becoming an influencer. The narrative is that if you want to make money online, you have to be the star. You've got to document your breakfast, broadcast your relationships to strangers, do all the silly trends. Basically, you have to trade your privacy for a paycheck. But here is the reality check that nobody gives you. Fame is not an asset. Fame is actually a liability. When you're famous, you create a job that you can never quit. You create a business that relies entirely on your energy levels, your current mood, and your ability to smile for the camera even when you just don't feel like it. The second you stop posting, the money stops flowing. That is not a business. That's just a golden hamster wheel. But listen, there is another way. A quiet way. There is this whole subsector of the digital economy that I like to call ghost commerce. It's run by people you have never seen. They don't have screaming fan bases, they have customers. They don't have clout, they have cash flow. And they aren't out here trying to build a personal brand, they are building an engine. So, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how the ghost commerce model works. I'm going to tell you why the smartest marketers are actually choosing anonymity over attention. And I'm going to show you how you can build a six-figure income stream without ever turning on your camera. Let's go invisible. Okay, before we get into the how, we have to understand the economics of why. Why would you choose to go faceless? Well, there is a concept in business strategy called key person risk. Think about it this way. If Apple's CEO takes a month off, Apple still sells iPhones. The system works perfectly fine without him. But if a personal brand influencer takes a month off, the algorithm punishes them. Engagement tanks, and the sales dry up. Here's the thing. When you build a business around your face, you are the bottleneck. I see so many creators burning out right now because they realized way too late that they didn't build an asset. They just created a high-paying job for themselves where the boss is an unpredictable algorithm. Ghost commerce flips this. It's built on the idea that people don't actually care about you. I know, that hurts the ego a little bit, but it's true. People care about their own problems, they care about solutions. Look, if you have a headache, you don't care if the aspirin was made by a celebrity or by a faceless factory. You just want the headache to go away. Ghost commerce is about selling the aspirin, not the pharmacist. And when you remove your face from the equation, three magical things happen. First, you get your life back. You can go to the grocery store in sweatpants. You aren't content for the internet anymore, you're just a person. Second, the business becomes sellable. You cannot sell a personal brand. Nobody wants to buy You Incorporated because it doesn't work without you. But a faceless brand, that's an asset. You can exit for millions because the buyer is buying the system, not the person. And third, you focus on leverage. Instead of focusing on how do I look today, you focus on how does this funnel convert today. You shift from being a performer to being an architect. So, if you aren't dancing on camera, what are you actually doing? What does a ghost commerce business look like in the wild? Well, it usually falls into one of three categories. The first is the curator. Think of those Instagram pages dedicated entirely to minimalist desk setups or stoic philosophy quotes or even luxury real estate. Here's the thing. The owner isn't the expert, they are the filter. They collect the best information or aesthetics in a specific niche and they present it beautifully. The value they provide is taste. The second category is the utility. These are brands that solve a boring, specific problem. I actually know a guy running a faceless YouTube channel that just plays copyright-free lo-fi music for studying. That channel prints money through affiliate links for headphones. He doesn't speak, he just provides a utility. The third category is the method. This is where my silent funnels lives. This is where you sell a specific system, a template, or a roadmap. You aren't selling coaching, which requires you are selling a course or a digital product, which just requires the content. So, what is the common thread here? The brand is the authority, not the person. The aesthetic becomes the face. The logo, the font, the tone of voice that is the character. Think about it. When you look at a brand like The Hustle or Morning Brew, you don't know who wrote the newsletter today. And honestly, you don't care. You trust the logo. That is the goal, to build trust in a symbol, not a selfie. Now, let's talk about what you sell. Because this is where most people get stuck. They think, if I'm not an expert showing my face, why would anyone pay me? Here is the counterintuitive truth. People pay more for systems than they do for personalities. Think about it this way. When you buy a course from a guru, you're often paying for the feeling of proximity to them. But when you buy a template, or a checklist, or a piece of software, you are paying for speed. In Ghost Commerce, we focus on high-leverage digital assets. We aren't selling t-shirts or drop-shipping cheap plastic from China that's a low-margin headache. We are selling knowledge and organization. So here are the best products for this model. First, templates and SOPs. Think along the lines of the Ultimate Notion Project Manager or the Photographer's Contract Bundle. Second, curated databases. Something like a list of 500 venture capital firms looking for seed rounds. And third, ebooks and guides. But these have to be specific how-to manuals. Not generic stuff like how to be happy, but something like how to sleep train your toddler in 3 days. Notice the specificity there? When you are faceless, you can't rely on charisma to close the sale. Your promise must be concrete. You need to articulate the transformation so clearly that the customer feels stupid saying no. The sales copy does the talking for you. You aren't persuading them on a Zoom call. Your landing page is your 24/7 sales rep. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't get sick, and it says exactly the right thing to every single visitor. Okay, so you have the mindset and you have the product. Now, how do you get eyes on it without showing your face? This is where theme pages and search intent come in. If you are on TikTok or Instagram Reels, you use what we call kinetic typography or B-roll storytelling. You've definitely seen these videos. It's a luxury car driving through the rain, or maybe a peaceful shot of a coffee shop. And there's text overlaid on the screen telling a micro story or giving a piece of advice. The visual hooks the eye because it's satisfying, and the text hooks the brain because it's valuable. You can crank out 30 of these videos in a single afternoon just using stock footage in Canva. You don't need lighting, you don't need a microphone, you just need to be a good writer. But here is the secret sauce. Search intent. Platforms like Pinterest and YouTube are search engines, not just social media. People go there to type in actual problems. How to fix back pain, best budget spreadsheet, minimalist home decor. If you create content that answers those specific questions, you don't need to be viral, you just need to be found. I'd rather have 100 views from people searching for how to buy my specific product than 100,000 views from random teenagers scrolling out of boredom. Ghost commerce relies on intent, not attention. Okay, I want to address the elephant in the room. You're probably sitting there wondering, can I really build trust without a face? Yes. In fact, sometimes it's actually easier. When you show your face, you introduce bias. People judge your age, your accent, your clothes, even your background. But when you are faceless, you are judged purely on the quality of your ideas. Think about the artist Banksy. Nobody knows who he is. Does that make his art less valuable? No. It makes it more valuable. The mystery creates intrigue. The focus is entirely on the work. In the digital marketing space, going faceless signals competence. It basically says, I don't need to charm you, my system works so well that I can stay in the shadows and still win. It's a power move. But to build this trust, you need 3 things. Number 1, consistency. You have to show up every day with the exact same visual style. Number 2, social proof. Testimonials are your best friend here. Screenshots of happy customers are worth more than any video of you talking to the camera. And number 3, transparency. Be open about your methods, even if you're closed about your identity. Show the dashboard, show the results, show the behind the scenes. Here's the bottom line. Building a business is hard. Building a personal brand is hard because you have to be on all the time. Building a ghost commerce brand is hard because you have to be patient and strategic. Choose your hard. But if you value your privacy, if you want to build wealth that doesn't require you to be the center of attention, and if you want to make money while you sleep for real, not just as a catchy Instagram caption, then the invisible path is the only one that makes sense. You don't need to be famous to be free. In fact, anonymity is the ultimate luxury. If you're ready to start building your own silent system, check out the link in the description below. No fluff, just a powerful system. I'll see you in the next one.